undeclared personalized vendettas. Since my suspension last year in October 2015, I have watched with both shock and disappointment at the relentless campaign to harass and convict me in a court of public opinion without regard for any due process. I find yesterday's announcement by the acting head of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, Riah Phiyega, that charges are to be brought against me for allegedly defeating the ends of justice, very concerning and opportunistic. According to what he said when he made the announcement, the investigations are not complete, not only for me, but for many others. The undignified haste to announce my imminent charging smacks of a sustained, concerted effort by the people and entities in the police ministry to continue with a relentless campaign that seeks to harass, slander, and vilify me. I can confirm that once more, that despite the public pronouncements by IPID, I have not only been informed via the media yesterday and today, I have not been approached by IPID to be apprised of my charges, or at least to be requested to give a warning statement. I truly believe that my rights as a citizen are violated. The deliberate and orchestrated character assassination is meant to destroy my credibility and reputation. But most profoundly, it is aimed at diverting my attention and resources from focusing on preparations for the inquiry that has been instituted by the President into my fitness to hold office. Over the last 3 months, the public has been fed bits and pieces of information and innuendo on a number of parallel investigations into my conduct, despite the eminence of the Board of Inquiry instituted by President Zuma. These include, among others, the following: the so-called reference group investigation and its subsequent report that made findings against me, which I still maintain is nothing but a ministerial sanctioned kangaroo court which breached all principles of fair play in the conduct of hearings and is devoid of any legal authority that is based in the law. Its purpose has been to slander me and destroy my credibility and reputation. The members of the reference group remain faceless, except one name that is written in a letter I was given. We struggled immediately after the grand announcement of my criminality to get the report that was supposed to have been completed already a month or two before the public pronouncement. We had to resort to legal demand tactics to get the report almost a month later. This was further compounded by the fact that, as the main accused person, I learned of the report and my criminality in the media, like yourselves and all other citizens in this country. The purported regulation, this other one is the purported regulation 201 investigation by the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee of Police on my conduct on a myriad of issues. Likewise, this report ignored natural justice processes and found me guilty without ever hearing my side of the story. You would also recall that there was a miraculous coincidence of both reports of the Regulation 201 by the Portfolio Committee and the reference group report by the Minister of Police coming out on the same day in Cape Town, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. the leaking to the media of Minister Natinhlako's correspondence informing me of his intention to terminate a portion of my allowance I receive as part of my salary following my suspension is another aspect to be given as an example. These allowances are regulated by the SABC Act and were clearly protected in my letter of suspension. So leaking a letter such as that and writing to me and informing about it tells me that the harassment continues. The internal and public communication and the fact that a SABC-wide gag on members in the organization to communicate with me is yet another example. As an accounting officer, I fully understand the administrative meaning of suspension, and I've fully complied with all the requirements and provisions in this regard. The formalized communication gag remains a serious puzzle to me. I remain perplexed by the conjecture that one can go as far as attempting to regulate social space. I also want to use an example of preparations for the inquiry that I'm facing. These preparations of the inquiry are difficult in that there is an institutionalized gatekeeping that has been introduced. Over and above the fact that my whole office has been dismantled, to access anything, I have been informed in writing that I must formally approach the minister or the acting national commissioner to have access to files or any other information I need. I don't mind it, but I find it very inhibiting. A Hawks investigation is another example on defeating the ends of justice. I've been on many defeating, investigations since I've been in the police. This one is relating to a matter concerning the former Western Cape Provincial Commissioner Anu Lamu, which, by the way, has already been dealt with by IPID as well as by the NPA, and they have both decided that there would be no prosecution in this matter. The matter is not prosecutable. However, the Hawks have opened another defeating the ends case, which relates to accusations and manipulation of information relating to Act 70 interceptions. The Hawks reported that there is a case of defeating the ends of justice opened in Sunnyside in November 2014. I recently learned from the media 2 or so Sundays ago in the Sunday Times that a legal opinion was sought by the minister on my possible dismissal as early as September 2014, and that was just 4 months after his arrival as a new Minister of Police. The other example I thought I would share just to show why I emphatically indicate that indeed there is a very orchestrated agenda really to harass and to intimidate me. The Portfolio Committee in December or November indicated a possible investigation by the committee on police inaccuracies alleged by the current acting national commissioner, Lieutenant General Komuso Pahlani, around annual crime statistics, our annual report, and our accounting. Those accusations are devoid of any basis for the following reasons. Competent leaders within SABC who are source owners, who are leading particular functions, signed off on all data that was incorporated for purposes of producing the annual report. An independent audit committee assessed and validated the integrity of the report. Thirdly, an internal risk report by SABC's internal audit was further issued as informed by the validated data. Fourthly, for the first time in the history of SABC, under my leadership, the Statistician General issued a clearance certificate for our crime stats report that was issued. This provided SABC with an enabling independent governance oversight process on the announcement of our statistics. At the time of my suspension, SABC had started to implement the SABC policy on crime statistics. SABC are being assisted by Stats SA to progressively migrate from issuing national crime statistics to official crime statistics. It is a long process that required astute management, and we had embarked upon that as SABC. Sixthly, predetermined objectives of all departments, including SABC, are included in the annual performance plans of every department and are fully reported in the annual report. These are all subjected to review by the Auditor General. I found it deeply regrettable that in the haste to continue with the tarnishing of my name, the authority and the integrity of SABC reporting as well as accounting was called into question. The ill-informed and reckless utterances by the current acting leadership is indeed very regrettable. We can ill afford irresponsible questioning of the objective capability and authenticity of the well-built and competent assurance infrastructure and authorities that we have in our country. The other example that I wanted to give is that people that I worked with are harassed, destabilized, misplaced from their positions. Some are suspended, some are resigning. They are being aggressively driven out of SABC or are rendered useless by having their responsibilities taken away from them or being put in posts where they do not have meaningful work. Fear and uncertainty has once again gripped police management. And that's not the type of police that the NDP is envisaging. This is bad, as it erodes SABC of good skills, as well as the much-needed management capability. I'm saying this considering how well SABC was performing in many areas in the past 3 years. This is a huge subject for another day, and if I have the opportunity, I'll address that subject of the SABC performance. I have repeatedly stated on the record that I seek no financial gain. Resignation is not in my purview, as I just want the opportunity to clear my name through due process. And I believe the scheduled inquiry is one of those platforms, and it shall provide me the opportunity to clear my name. Should the National Director of Public Prosecutions decide to prefer charges against me, as recommended by IPID, as a responsible leader and law-abiding citizen, I shall fully cooperate. I have full confidence that our country's judicial system will afford me a fair trial. In fact, under the circumstances I find myself in, it is the only just, fair, and objective platform I can resort to. For now, I remain focused on fully cooperating with the President's instituted Board of Inquiry, which shall be starting on the 3rd of May. These side shows that continue to tarnish my name are meant to delay the very crucial preparations for the looming inquiry into my fitness for office. In conclusion, the abuse of public funds in an attempt to run parallel investigations ahead of the apex inquiry set up by the President clearly seeks to undermine any measure of truth that the Board of Inquiry will unearth in terms of the testimony that I gave in Marikana, which further strengthens my determination and resolve to face all the set-up legal platforms, including the courts of this country. I surmise that there is a deliberate effort to force me to abandon my quest to set the record straight and offer closure to and clarity to this matter. I remain committed to fully participate in the established inquiry processes, and I will not be deterred by nefarious motives. As I close, I want to say to you, I did not lie, and I am not a criminal. I thank you.
Firstly, I just wanted to find out, do you feel that you're being used as the scapegoat here, as the fall guy, and do you think there are other people that should be taking responsibility for what happened in Marikana as well?
Graham Huston from the Times newspaper. Why do you believe that the agenda is being driven against you? Why do you believe the police minister wants to drive you out of the office? And as a follow-on to that question, what the NCA has asked, would you say that other senior government officials need to be held to account for their actions around Marikana?
Hajra Marji from Power FM. Political witch hunt, ministerial kangaroo court, those are strong words. But surely you can't believe that Police Minister Riah Phiyega is a law unto himself. He reports to Cabinet, he reports to President Jacob Zuma and executes the mandate of the Cabinet as well as the President. And then you also said you will not resign. And I'm wondering if you've been asked to resign. You said you will not seek financial gain. I'm wondering if you've been offered a settlement or perhaps a redeployment.
From Power FM. In the past, you've defended National Head Trial. I just want to know if you plan on doing so going forward from now.
Okay, let me take the ones that you've asked. ENCA, Fall Guy Scapegoat. I've had a lot of it yesterday. I saw ANN7 even running a voting thing around it. Those are not my words. I just want to say, as I've said here, that I find these parallel processes very perplexing. I'll say that again, because there is an inquiry that is before me, the portfolio committee issues, the IPID issues, the whatever. I'm just saying the timing perplexes me, and I'm saying, why am I not given time? Because I've been suspended to take time to prepare for the inquiry. I'm just pleading for that space to be able to do justice to the task that is beforehand. Because when you have many other things that are hanging on the wayside, they just clutter the air. That's where I'm coming from. Graham, you asked a question about the agenda, held to account. Indeed, any public official, accounting officer like myself, servant of the citizens, must account. I believe absolutely in that. And this is why I welcome the opportunity that has been set by the President. It's objective, it's fair, it's just. I will have an opportunity as a servant of the citizens to account, and the citizens can judge, and that objective platform can decide indeed on the issues that are being raised. I believe absolutely in those. I do not, the issue of cluttering and all these sideline issues is what bothers me, and this is why I'm raising it here today. Hajra, you're talking about a political witch hunt. I've never spoken, I spoke of a witch hunt. You added political. So I'm not talking about political witch hunt. I'm talking about a witch hunt because I don't have those phrases around it. And I've again articulated why I say there's a witch hunt. Because whilst I'm sitting here, for instance, the IPID has ample time to investigate all of us that they are going to investigate, because I listened clearly to the announcement yesterday, because what I heard was that the investigations are not finished. It is not just Riah Phiyega. There are many other people. If you were to just walk out and ask any citizen there to check who else is going to face these charges if they are there, nobody would recall. But if you open your statement now and you do your media monitoring, you'll hear Riah Phiyega, Riah Phiyega, Riah Phiyega. What's this rush that I don't understand without, I mean, as I say, at this point in time, I heard of the charges in public yesterday, like me and you. So the information you have is the information I have, and I'm the affected person. And secondly, I've not even been asked to give a warning statement in order for them to move to the next step, to pass the information, maybe to the NPA for them to decide. So I didn't understand really that huge platform that was used yesterday. Indeed, we all work, we are servants. I'm more on operations. The minister is in charge of the political office in the ministry. We all are accountable. And I'm not actually looking at this whole thing just targeting. I'm saying I am very concerned about the processes that I'm seeing. The investigations that are taking place, whether it's one of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee, whether it's the reference group, whether it's what IPID is saying, all those issues concern me, whether it's what the Hawks are talking about as defeating. I'm sure one can take so many defeating cases. Otherwise, I'll spend many years in jail. I have defended Minister Nati Mthethwa. That's it's a question I'm not understanding to say, you know, maybe if you can say to me, where did I defend him? What did I say? So that I can respond to that. That's power. Yeah, if you can clarify it, yes. Let's hear the defense. It's a very, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Okay, let's move this way. Okay, I'll start here.
Thank you. My name is Riah Phiyega from IPID News. You mentioned earlier it's not just Riah Phiyega, there are other people. I know we had the question about the scapegoat and municipal witch hunting. But are you saying that it's not just some of the police officers who are on the ground on the day, those who pulled the trigger, but that there were other political influences in Marikana?
Okay, there was a hand. Right? She's done. Okay. Asha?
On Nati Mthethwa, will your defense in any way be that there was any political order around the decisions you made in the build-up to the Marikana tragedy? And then you expressed confidence in the judicial system. Should we take that to mean if you feel that the processes before you at the moment with inquiry is unfair, that you will challenge it?
Do you want to, given everything that's happening now and the witch hunt, the looking for a scapegoat, do you want to go back, given the pressure that you're being put under and other things, do you want to go back and your job was offered back to you, would you accept?
Okay.
Sorry, Peter from Jacaranda FM. I just want to know, do you know perhaps who's after you? And if you are aware, can't you just name them in public the way you've been?
Okay, let me deal with what I read, Jenny. Can you just again recap on your question?
It was, I know that there was questions about political witch hunts and you being used as the scapegoat. But when we come to what actually happened in Marikana, do you believe, you said there are other people involved,
Okay.
it's not just Riah Phiyega, it's other people who are also involved, who are also responsible. Do you feel that there were political influences
Okay,
in terms of what happened?
Let's reiterate what I said earlier on. I said witch hunt. I didn't talk about political witch hunt. Very, very important, so that you quote it well. Because once you put on your pen, becomes a big thing. In terms of the Marikana operation was huge. We rolled out many people there. The police that were there. There was the front end, the back end, and I'm sure when the investigations come out, there will be many, many more people. And I'm just saying, you know, we are talking about a total operation, not about one person. There is no way such a massive operation. Itself is so big, and that's why it took so long. So this is what I would like to refer to.
But was there political influences in terms of the operation?
We have given testimony to that effect, and the report did not come to a situation where it talks about that. We've given full testimony. We've been asked left, right, and center, inside out on those issues, and we answered accordingly during that testimony. Okay. I think it is related to the question that you asked. We have done, if you read that report, it will give you a full account of our testimony in terms of this matter. You asked about job back. I'm still the National Commissioner. When I'm no longer National Commissioner, I'll answer that question. Okay. What I mentioned in my statement, I mentioned the various, and I'm sure they will share it with you, issues that make me come to such a conclusion, to say you cannot have these multiple investigations when you are having an apex inquiry before you. That's what concerns me, and I'm just saying, what is beyond that? I think I've articulated it in the activities, and it's very clear. And my statement tells you about those things that make me reach the conclusion that I'm reaching. Okay.
Sorry, Commissioner, Michael, Commander in 7. The Acting National Commissioner, General Pafani, is making some pretty big changes and appointments as an acting National Commissioner. And as you said, your inner circle is being harassed and moved to other positions. Do you feel you already have one foot out the door?
Look, the acting National Commissioner is doing whatever he's supposed to do. I am on suspension. I will not comment on the operational activities of what is happening in the police at this point in time. Bar for what I have said, to say I've seen a few people being misplaced, retiring, being suspended and all that. Those issues are well handled by those that are in the service.
What do you think the reason is for this, as you said, harassment of you? I mean, why do you believe people are, and whoever these forces, outside, inside, left, right, centre, why do you think they're harassing? Why do you think they're particularly going after you?
Remember what I said in my statement. I said I'm perplexed. And that tells you that I don't have a lot of those answers that you are asking, but I gave you my examples to say what makes me believe that there's just too much, cluttering of the environment by many other things, whilst we could be focusing on a particular matter that I've been suspended for. So I'm perplexed. I'm probably in the same space as you.
I know that you say that you are still obviously the National Commissioner, but
Suspended.
Suspended,
Yes.
of course. Why would you want to stay in an environment that you're now describing as, of course, you're saying that there's a witch hunt, there's these harassments that continue, and people that you used to work with, you say that are being obviously subjected to either being driven out, some are resigning. Why would you want to stay in an environment like that? My
answer to the previous question holds. Remember, I'm on suspension. I've got to answer whether I'm fit for office. When I'm at that point, I'm sure that conversation would be relevant.
I just want to get your analysis. What do you think, the way everything has been handled, everything that's happened, what kind of impact is it having on the police force and the service they have to render? I'm looking for your analysis in terms of the day-to-day running, the officer on the street, with all the headlines and everything. Do you think it's impacting them negatively?
I would not, again, as I answered, I would not like to pass any judgment or any view on things operational because I'm suspended. And I'm sure those that are currently leading and operating can actually articulate that. Maybe in a private session where we're having tea, I can say something about it.
So we can just have a last round of questions because we need to inform that ENC is live at 1:30.
I'll start here and then I'll go that way.
Commissioner, I just wanted to find out, and I know you've gone through the whole thing on how this has affected the police, your credibility, but how has all of this affected you personally and your home life?
Look, it's been a very difficult process, and my commitment and passion is to have enough energy to keep standing so that I can face the inquiry, and all I want to do is for the truth to come out and to clear my name.
Without obviously giving him too much, how are your preparations going for the inquiry? I mean, you've spoken of this, IPID's announcements, and a couple of the other parallel processes that are going alongside the inquiry. But how are your preparations for the inquiry going? Are you confident that you're on the right track?
Graham, all I can tell you is that I'm giving it my all, and the team that I'm working with, we're working flat out to be ready for the time that has been stipulated and publicly announced. Okay.
Commissioner, sorry, just very quickly, I want to ask, under normal circumstances, I think it would be the case for the for IPID, for example, to go to the NPA and make recommendations as to its investigations. But in this case, it seems to me that you're communicating that you're considering this, under these circumstances, to be, I want to use the word illegitimate, and that you're only considering the inquiry to be legitimate in the case of determining what should happen and whether you should or whether you are fit for your position.
I will not dictate to IPID how they should do their job. However, I'm saying to you, the timing, the approach, the manner in which this announcement is made, I read about it like you in the press. I have never been asked for a warning statement. I find it concerning given all the other issues that I have raised. And I've said to you, should the NPA decide to prefer charges against me, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I shall oblige and I will fully cooperate.
Painted quite a clear picture of the witch hunt against you. Then I'm confused as to why you think the Apex investigation or the Apex inquiry had less interest, which
I think it is legitimate in a sense that it is an inquiry that is recommended by a commission. And all that was done was to ensure that there is a just, objective, and fair process chaired by a judge, a retired judge, to ensure that that which was recommended is effected. And this is why I'm saying that. And this is why I said to you earlier on in my statement that I believe in the judiciary of this country. And any time I'm invited to a court, I will be willing to fully cooperate, because I know that in our judiciary, I have an opportunity of getting a fair and just hearing.
Thank you for your questions. We just need to stay with Jen for a couple of minutes for the interviews.
Thank you very much to all of you. Okay. Okay, PM Battlefield. But we'll interview on that.
Of argument and so on.
Okay.
Yeah.